Okay, chapter 8, lesson 3 talks about volume of a sphere. So let's first talk about a sphere. Most of you would know it like a ball shape, right? And what it is a two-dimensional circle. Like the cross section would be a two-dimensional circle. Come on, honey. Two-dimensional circle. That's what the diameter slice would be. So it's basically all, whenever we talk about the volume of a sphere, it's all points that are equal distance away from a center point. So this center point, if I extend our units, whatever that happens to be, in every direction, every little pinpoint direction, makes a three-dimensional shape. Have you ever taken like a flat quarter and take it with your finger and spin it on the desk and it looks like now it's like a globe, some kind of ball? That's what you're doing. You're taking that shape and putting in all directions from one center point that it's revolving around or rotating on. So that's a sphere. There is a specific formula to find the volume of a sphere. Looks complicated, but when you break it down, it's really not. It's just 4/3, so 4 divided by 3, times pi, times r cubed. So it's r times r times r. That's what we've got. And you just plug in the numbers to the formula, and you are good to go. So let's do it with example 1. Find the volume of the sphere, round to the nearest tenth. So I am going to take 4/3. Let's move this out of the way here. So 4/3, 4 divided by 3 times 3.14 times, because I do not have an exponent button on my calculator that would do cubes, I'm just going to do times what? What's the radius? 6. So times 6 times 6 times 6. 904.32. They got 904.8 because they used the pi button. Same thing. What was the label on this? Cubic millimeters. So you could also do 904.3 millimeters cubed. Remember, if you use an exponent, you put it on the graph, not on the number. Okay, so it's not 904.3 cubed, it's millimeters cubed. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm just going to have you try one of these at the bottom. Try one of these at the bottom. Let's do A. Find the volume of the sphere. Okay, back with me. Let's do 4/3. Let's write it out here. Get my pen. 4/3 times pi times radius cubed. What's the radius? It's not 22. 11 cubed. Now, make sure you're doing your order of operations correctly. It is not that you multiply all these things together and you get your answer and you take it times itself 3 times. You are only taking the 11. You are only taking this and cubing that. All right, the other ones, that's just a multiplication. The only thing that's getting the exponent is the 11, because that's the reason why they have the parentheses there. Only what's in the parentheses get that. All right, so make sure you're doing your order of operations correctly. And if you remember order of operations, we talk about please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So whenever they say parentheses, they do not mean like multiplication in parentheses. They mean, is there anything to simplify in those parentheses? And there's not. There's no operations in here to do. It's just a pi and a number 11. So then you move on to exponents, and that's where that comes into play, right there. You have to do exponents before you do your multiplication and division. Okay, so with that being said, let's do it. Let's do this. 4 divided by 3. Not 904 divided by 3. Let's try this. 4 divided by 3. Come on. Half asleep. Not me, the board. 4 divided by 3. Maybe it's saying, slow down, woman, it's early. 4 divided by 3. 1.3 repeating, right? 4/3 is 1 1/3, so it's 1.3 repeating. So times that by pi. I do not have a pi button on here, so 3.14 times 11 cubed. So times 11. 11 1 didn't hurt anything, so we're just going to start over. 11 times 11. One more times 11. 5,572.5. 5,572.5 centimeters cubed. Now, if you use the pi button, let's see, what did they get with the pi button? 575.5, and what just happened there? Okay, got that part figured out. I don't know, I think it's just early, it's not awake yet maybe. Maybe I should have got this thing some coffee or whatever, or would wake up a smartboard, I don't really know. Extra little gigabyte of memory or something. Who knows? Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon, let's go. All right, so I don't think we really need to do B. I think we've got that part. We're going to practice some more with some word problems on this. So let's get back to here, clear our screen, go to the next page, and see what awaits. Oh, look, it's a word problem. It's your favorite. So let's do this. A spherical stone in the courtyard of the National Museum of Costa Rica has a diameter of about 8 feet. Find the volume of the spherical stone. So volume, diameter is about 8 feet. So our radius, we never use the diameter. Radius is about 4 feet. So on here, I'm going to take 4/3. So 4 divided by 3 times pi times my radius is 4. One more. There we go. 267.9. 267.9. That's how big we've got it. 267.9. Okay, and if you use pi like they did in the book, the button, it was 268.1. Same thing. All right, I want to move on to example 3, because that's the only one different in this lesson that you have to do something a little bit different. So let's go ahead and skip that, got it. We're going to go right to example 3. Move this over here. All right, a volleyball has a diameter of 10 inches. A pump can inflate the ball at a rate of 325 cubic inches per minute. How long will it take to inflate the ball? Round to the nearest tenth. So we first need to find out, well, how much is it going to have to do? We need to find the volume of that ball. So it is 4/3 times pi times r cubed. So let's do 4 divided by 3. Now, times pi times 3.14 times r cubed. The diameter is 10. Diameter is 10. The radius would be 5. So times 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25 times 5, 125. Or you could just multiply it out. Where did that 20.933 come from? Let's try that again. 4 divided by 3 times 3.14. Come on. Make me stab you. Bored, and I don't want to do that. Times, what was our radius? 5. Okay, that should get it. 523.33. So that's basically the volume. 523.33, and I'm just going to use my calculation. Well, just because I like mine. 523.3.3. What are these? Inches. Cubic inches. You want to know how long that is going to take. So if we set up a proportion that talks about volume and time. Okay, so volume 523.3, we don't know how long it's going to take, but we do know how long it takes this pump to inflate it. It can do 325 cubic inches, and it can do it in 1 minute. Okay, remember when you're setting up a proportion that equal units need to be on the right side. So we've got volume all on the top, time all on the bottom. All right, so when you solve a proportion, cross products are equal, we remember. So I've got 523.3 times 1. Well, that didn't change very much. 523.3 inches cubed times 1. Okay, and now we've got 325 times x. And those are basically minutes. So I'm going to divide by 325 minutes. I want the x to stay there because I'm solving for it. 325 minutes. So let's take my answer that I already have up here and divide by 325. 1.6. 1.6. 1.6 what? Well, what do we got left there? 1.6 cubic inches per minute. So we've got 1.6 minutes. 523. 523.3 cubic inches over 325 minutes. It will take 1.6 minutes. 1.6 minutes to inflate. Okay, let's try one more on that, and then I think you're actually going to be good. So I want you to pause it and try this snowball down here. Okay, try snowball. All right, a snowball has a diameter of 6 centimeters. Let's find that volume. So 4/3 times pi times radius. That's the diameter, so the radius is 3. It's supposed to be a parentheses. Cubed. Four divided by 3 times 3.14 times 3 times 3 times 3. So the volume, 113.04. And those are centimeters cubed. How long would it take the snowball to melt if it melts at a rate of 1.8 cubic centimeters? 1.8 cubic centimeters per minute. So 1.8 cubic centimeters per minute. You want to know what x is. Okay, so we talk about 113.04 times 1, so that's not changing, equals 1.8x. Divide both sides by 1.8. What do we get? 62.8. 62.8 what? 62.8 minutes. 62.8 minutes. Okay, and with that, I'm going to just show you the next one, and we're going to be done, because once you see the next one, you'll be like, oh, okay, I got it. I don't need to do 15 examples on that one. Just talks about volume of a hemisphere. So really, I just want to touch base with you on what a hemisphere is. Like in geography, social studies, you talk about what hemisphere of the world it is. It's in the southern hemisphere, the northern hemisphere. That would take the globe and cut it into a top and bottom. Or it could even be like the eastern hemisphere, the western hemisphere, if you took it and did it long ways down the middle. All right, so that's what that is. So if I want to find out the volume of a hemisphere, I'm just going to take the volume of the sphere and then take half of it. So you can find the volume of the sphere and divide it by 2. And that should get it. So if you want to practice with these, there's that one there. Or you could practice with E and F on the next page. I will go ahead and give you the answers to those. So if you want to try that, you can pause it. And when you come back, I'll have your answers. All right, so E, 2.1 centimeters cubed. F, 1,526.8 meters cubed. So just find the volume of the sphere divided by 2. So I think those you should not have a problem with at all. But if you do, come see me. Good luck.